Just kidding, not really frozen. That is, according to my 2 daughters who Snapchat, a freeze frame. However, we do not want to create characters that are freeze frames because they're just pictures. It's two-dimensional, it's boring, and I'm here to talk to you about how to create non-boring characters using the 3 P problems of people. You are going to discover that I love alliteration, and we are going to walk through these 3 P problems, and then we are going to fix them to make sure that you are not using 3 P problems in your writing. The first P problem in people is when people create characters that are essentially a POW. As a military person, we were told if we were ever caught, we were told that we could say our name, our rank, our serial number. I was in a little bit later, so it wasn't serial number anymore, it was actually our social security number. That is a POW. The character version of a POW is when you're giving their name, their status or position, and maybe their age or one other little fact about them. It doesn't really tell you anything about the character. This is 3rd grade level writing. You need to move beyond. Do not create just a POW. The next thing is the paper doll. Paper dolls are so big in fantasy writing. A lot of times people will create that character who is just a physical description. And that's all you're creating is a paper doll. They don't come off of the page. They are paper because it's only a description. So you've got your POW, name, rank, and serial number. You've got your paper doll, physical description. And then here is the biggie, where even the best of writers sometimes fail. Perfection. This is when you create villains that have no redeeming qualities, or heroes that have no flaws. And guess what? This even happens in nonfiction. I'm going to give you the 2 examples of when this happens in nonfiction. First, you've got the self-victimizing memoir. My life sucks, here are all the things in it that suck, and I want you to feel bad about how everything sucks because it's just sucky. That's about how we feel about you as a writer when that's the story you give us. Please, oh please, give us some moments of joy in the midst of the struggle. Give us some moments of victory snatched from the jaws of defeat. You do not want to be the self-victimizing memoir. The other extreme of this is the self-aggrandizing leadership book. I'm great, I was born great, and let me show you how to be great, just like me. Guess what? We don't think you're great, we think you're pompous. So please, oh please, tell me something that made you hurt. Tell me something that made you angry. Most of all, tell me something when you messed up. Tell me when you made a mistake, because that is going to make you very real to me. And I don't mean a throwaway line like, I had some decisions in my life that I made which were wrong. No, tell me what those decisions were and how they affected you. If you are leaving out what makes you vulnerable, you are also leaving out what makes you relatable. So please, please do not give me a perfect character. Make your character real for me. So these are the 3 P problems, but how do we get past them? We need to go ahead and date our character. I know, you're thinking I'm crazy right now. We're not going to go on a date with these fictional characters. What I mean instead is to think about all of those questions that you would ask on a first date. How are we going to get to know your character? And if your character is real, if you're writing nonfiction, you might be able to access a lot of this information through your research or through in-depth profile studies that you're doing. But the bottom line is, first you're going to break the POW by at least giving us some of those details about your character. We're going to go ahead and kind of create the basic details. And I don't want those details just peppered in at the beginning in a paragraph. You're going to spread them out throughout your book. Same with the paper doll. You're going to give us the physical description. Once again, you're going to pepper this in throughout your book. You're going to say things such as, you know, he had to accommodate for his broad shoulders to get in through the door frame. Tears welled up in her brown eyes. He pursed his small lips so tightly when he was angry that they nearly disappeared into his little tight mouth. You know, we're really going to get some of these physical descriptions without you giving me a paragraph in the beginning describing what your character looks like. Then you're going to break this perfection. That means if you are a hero or you're writing the main character or the arch character of this book, the protagonist, by the way, you're going to see I'm editing myself right here as I speak, and we're not going to edit it on the camera, just like you guys need to do with your writing. So your protagonist, if you're really creating that protagonist in your story, give me some of their flaws, give me some of their mess-ups, give me some of the things that are really messed up about them. And if you're creating that negative character, that arch nemesis, that character who's maybe going to be the rival in your story or the enemy or the villain, I want to know what redeems them. I want the Snapes people. I want to know, why do we love him even though this person is not the main character, even though this person is not the protagonist. Give us some of those really rich details that redeem that character. That's going to make a really great story. So once you do those 3 steps, go ahead and look online. Find those questions about dating your character. Find out, what are the getting to know you questions. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of these online. And I'm actually going to share some of them with you as resources. So your job is going to be to date your character by breaking the 3 P problems of people and then dating your character by going through those getting to know you questions. From the fiction side, again, I'm going to share all sorts of resources. You're going to see from the nonfiction side that I share some really cool things that Dave Strand did in building a championship culture, getting vulnerable with you, the reader. Break the problems of your characters and create great ones using this method.